or two videos, and that'll cover the rest of what we need to cover today. I can do operations with exponents. So exponents, you remember, and I've gone over this with you before, but remember back in school when they taught you to do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's a 2, not a 3. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and you said, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And you said 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. And then they said, well, this is the same thing as 4 2's, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 2's, and usually they did a little x, but I don't like to do that because we use x's in algebra all the time, and it means unknown or variable. So we can also use this little dot. So 4 times 2 also equals 8. Okay, so that's kind of a neat little shortcut. What about, though, what if we wanted to do something a little bit different? What if instead of adding 2 over and over and over again, we wanted to multiply 2 over and over and over again? So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Well, we also have a way of writing this. So this is what we call 2 to the 4th power. And that's just what it means. If we have an exponent, that's called our exponent, then it is the base, that's our base, multiplied by itself that many times. Okay, so our base is multiplied by itself the exponent number of times. And this just takes a little bit of practice and takes a little bit of working into your mind. A lot of times I will do something like, okay, 2 to the 3rd power. Well, and if I'm moving too fast and not thinking this through, I say that it's 6. But it's not 6. 2 times 3 is 6, but not 2 to the 3rd power. So if we write it out, 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the 3rd power is 8. So you see that it's not the same. Multiplying something by itself is not the same as just as multiplying it by the exponent. Okay, that's important to remember, and it's a mistake that even people who have been doing math for a really long time still sometimes make if they're trying to go too fast. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we do have some properties of exponents. Properties meaning things that we can use to kind of make things shorter. And we're looking mostly at multiplication and division. So we'll start with multiplication. That's a C. You know, it looks like an E, but I don't want to erase the whole thing. So that's a C. Multiplication and division. So we'll start with multiplication. So if we have, and it has to have the same base, but if we have 2 to the 3rd power times 2 to the 2nd power, if it's to the 2nd power, we sometimes call that squared. But 2 to the 3rd power times 2 to the 2nd power, then this is the same thing. If I were to write this out, 2 times 2 times 2, that's 2 to the 3rd power, right? And then we have a multiplication sign between them, 2 times 2. Well, this is the same thing as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's, 2 being multiplied by itself 5 times. So that's 2 to the 5th power. But we don't have to write all these out, right? We know that if it's 2 to the 3rd, that we have 3 2's from that. And if it's 2 to the 2nd power, we have 2 2's from that. So we just have to add our exponents. So this is the same thing as 2 to the 3 plus 2, which is 2 to the 5th. Okay, so when you multiply, you're going to add your exponents. Okay, division is similar. If you remember, division is the opposite of multiplication, right? So division is going to be similar. If we have 2 times, let's not use 2 this time. Let's use 5 to the 8th power divided by 5 to the 3rd power. Okay, 5 to the 8th power divided by 5 to the 3rd power. Well, I can write this out. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so we have 8 5s in the numerator, sorry, and 3 5s in the denominator. That means I have no way of cutting that out. I hope you enjoyed that bell. Okay, we have 4 5s, 8 5s. Okay, so 8 5s in the denominator and 3 5s. Well, if I want to simplify this, 5 divided by 5 is just 1, so I can get rid of that. 5 divided by 5 is just 1, so I can get rid of that. 5 divided by 5 is just 1, so I get rid of that. And then I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5s. So my final answer is 5 to the 5th. And this, just like division is the opposite of multiplication, we do the opposite thing with our exponents. So 5, where did my pen go? Yep. My pen is no longer writing. There we go. Okay, so this is the same thing as 5 to the 8th minus 3, right? 5 to the 5th power. Now, it's always the top exponent subtracting the bottom exponent, and you could actually end up with a negative exponent. But I'm going to make one more video, and I'm going to go over powers to powers and